That ain't a knife. This is a knife. That ain't a game. This is a game.
Welcome to Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League.
Gosh. Oh, is this it?
I mean, it can be.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. I mean, hey, why not?
Doing it.
We're back, friends. We're back to talk about Suicide Squad. Kill
Why
the
are we
Justice
talking
League.
about it for the third time, Brett?
It's actually, well, I guess it's the second time reviewing it.
Yeah.
Third time talking about it.
Yeah.
But it won't be the last time we talk about it.
Why are we talking about it for the third time? Let me rephrase that.
Brett beat the game.
Yeah.
Not only did Brett beat the game, but y'all beat the game. But y'all beat the game way before I beat the game.
Yep.
But
too
I
far.
beat it. Yeah. Well, I didn't realize it honestly was like way shorter than I thought. It was 15 hours of
was.
roll credits.
Yeah. It was.
And I was like, okay. And that was a lot of like side stuff too, of like,
Yeah.
doing a lot of other side missions. It wasn't super long. It was longer than Marvel's Avengers, but it wasn't as long as I kind of expected it to be.
Okay.
But that's because, spoiler alert, actually, I'm going to preface, there's going to be light spoilers in this conversation.
Just light.
So if you, maybe full spoilers. Actually, there will be full spoilers.
Full on spoilers.
Like we finished it.
So if y'all want to play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and want to not be spoiled, look at the show notes in your app and then skip forward to the next discussion because we will be doing spoilers. You have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. You have been warned. Y'all, we killed Brainiac, y'all.
Yeah, we did.
We fucking killed Brainiac.
Brainiac.
We killed Superman, who is way too easy, I feel like. But we killed one of the 13 Brainiacs.
We're going to talk about it all.
I
We're going
wouldn't
to talk
say
about it
Superman
all.
was too easy, like compared to the
Well,
other
the
Justice League.
battle
Like,
itself wasn't too easy. I just feel like okay, so let me back up a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit.
let's start from the beginning.
So overall story here, Suicide Squad, you got to kill a Justice League, right? That's cool, all fine and dandy. I think the initial setup of this game was great. It was on point.
Yeah.
Hilarious comedy banter back and forth between the characters, introducing Agent Waller, and then the whole like Argus group, all the different characters trying to be like, oh, we got bombs in our brains, so we got to make sure we like don't get our heads exploded.
Okay.
And help kill Justice League.
Right.
Yeah,
Got it.
all that stuff, right? So the first group we go after is basically like, well, we get introduced very quickly to Batman, Green Lantern, and Flash, right? And you're all kind of going off after all of them, but then the first boss we fought was Green Lantern, right?
Flash.
It was
Close.
Flash.
Yes, it was
okay,
Flash.
Flash. Yeah.
So close.
So we go fight Flash 1st, and I think the lead up through those three was like pretty solid. What did y'all feel? Like starting with Flash,
Green
and then Green Lantern, and then Batman. How'd y'all feel about that piece of the story?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I thought it was great. I don't want to get into like too much of it, but I thought the storyline was great. It was a little bit of how can I put this? Like at the end of each boss battle, it just kind of felt it's done.
Right.
I felt that with every single boss battle, even a little bit with Brainiac at the end. But I felt that the story was lacking there, just because the fact was that, to me, my own opinion, and to a lot of other people's opinion, is that these are not the real Justice League members, and that's why we didn't get so much impact that we wanted out of it. I think the most impact we got is whenever we finally put down Batman. It was the scene between him and Harley Quinn talking about things. I think that right there was more impactful compared to the rest of the League members. Especially because like how Batman was talking to the members and like downing them for who they are and stuff, and Harley interrupted him and gave her monologue, and then after she killed him, she's like, "This is what Bats would have wanted." Hands down, I know Batman. This wasn't Batman. He wanted something like this. He wanted to go down like this. So I felt appreciation for that scene. For the rest of them, it kind of felt not as climactic, especially with Superman. Superman was probably the worst one out of all of them, where I felt the repetitive storyline of just, hey, he's dead. All right, cool. Like, just let's move on, So
Yeah, there was that cool moment with the Wonder Woman and Superman back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah,
like that was kind of interesting.
I was actually hoping that Wonder Woman would get captured and she would have been the next one for us to take down before Superman. I thought that was going to be cool, And then someone else brought up the concept, because even Batman mentioned it whenever you go to his Batcave, that this is the Babel protocol. which refers back to a comic book where Batman had dossiers on all the Justice League members on how to take them down. And someone came out and said, I think the original game premise was supposed to be Batman taking down the Justice League, and it was supposed to be a single player experience. And I think that would have been fucking cool. That would have been like, we got our Arkham Batman, and now he joins this league, and all of a sudden they're corrupted, and he has to figure out how to take them down.
That would have been way better.
Whoa, that would have fucking blown my mind. But sorry, I don't mean to impress you as you're yawning. But anyways,
No, sorry. I'm a tired person, bro. I'm sorry.
See that?
but Austin, I'll leave it to you. How did you feel?
Well, I really enjoyed the story to a point, and it was definitely the driving force for this whole thing, which is impressive because usually the games as a service type games like this don't really have
Destiny.
That story that's like, oh, it's so amazing.
True.
Like, Marvel's Avengers had a decent story,
Yep.
and it's just like, well, let me see what's going to happen next. I'm hoping that it increases the strong plot that wants me to keep moving forward.
Well, we knew that in the beginning that Rockstar was going to be successful, or Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Rockstar. I said Rockstar.
Yeah.
Rocksteady was going to be very successful with a storyline.
Right.
So
Yeah. And, it was really, really good. Like, there's a lot of good one-liners, and I was laughing all the time. I'm like, what's going to happen next? And, I think there's definitely, I desire a little more when it comes to, Rocksteady and what they've done in the past. But, for the most part, like, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's see what's going to happen next. And then once we got to Batman and that whole sequence of fighting him as this big, giant bat demon thing, I was like, I know we're hallucinating right now, but this is just like, how could you take down Batman? Like, even evil Batman. I feel like he's like the ultimate villain. I don't know how you get past that. And I feel like it was a cop-out, and it's like, oh, we're all tripping out, and Batman's this big thing, and we shot him up somehow, and we killed him. And I'm like, because the whole point of that whole sequence was we have Scarecrow's fear toxin, and we reverse engineer it so Batman gets affected. But it's not like Batman was affected. He was just still attacking us, and he was kind of slow as this big demon thing. And I was like, this is not right. And then when he died, I felt like, it was like, okay, yeah, I like the moment with him and Harley Quinn. And that happens. And then we go to Superman, and it was just like, he's dead.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on. I'm like, wow. So,
Yeah.
like, going to Batman was, like, supposed to be this big, epic moment. It's like, he's a man. We can technically kill him, but Superman should be like, oh, shit.
yeah, this is an unstoppable force.
And he just flew around throwing stuff at us.
I don't know. I felt like that boss battle was, compared to the other ones, was a little bit more challenging until you got to Brainiac, of course. But
It felt like you were fighting Superman.
Yeah.
But the things that Superman can do, like, he never went up to anybody and touched them.
yeah, true.
And it would have been like, I'm like feeling affected, and seeing this progression of,
Just fly over there and snap.
I mean,
their
he
neck
can
and
still
move.
punch everybody.
Yeah, true.
Even if he's going to be affected by this stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
it'd been nice to see people drop out, like in the Batman sequence. People started
Yeah.
dropping. And it's like, or figure something out how to make that all work out. But then he just died, and I'm like, this is Superman.
Yeah.
Like, even the Justice League should have, the Suicide Squad should have respect for each of these characters, because these guys, the Justice League, are badass motherfuckers. Yeah, they might want to hurt them and kill them, but like, they know what they're going against. And
Right.
it is like,
Yeah.
and so I felt like all the humor that was really good in all these moments. And again, when we got to the Batman and how everything started to like, was still like a joke. I'm like, okay, here are like two of the best characters in the DC universe, and we're still throwing down jokes. Like, I felt like all the serious moments that should lead to, or just like be left there to like simmer in our minds and our consciousness, is just like interrupted by some kind of quip. I'm like, okay, now I understand what IGN was talking about. Like, there's too many jokes, and they don't have respect for the DC Justice League. And I'm like, okay, it all makes sense now.
Well, I mean,
and I felt like
villains, though.
Oh, I get
And
that.
the only person that really
I get
gave
that.
respect to like any of the heroes was Harley with Batman.
Yeah.
And like the counterpart with Deadshot, I couldn't stand that with Green Lantern. I just
Yeah.
that one
Yeah, that
was
was-
kind of weird, and
right.
I felt forced.
It did.
I can understand like with Captain Boomerang, with Flash, but I guess I can see what you're saying, but I think what the big thing we're missing out of this is like that death sequence of a big superhero.
Yeah.
Like it just, like you said, it was fun, kind of funny, whatever, and all that jazz, but I don't think they gave it enough time. They just laid out and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know. I mean, this could not be the real Justice League, but still, it's just kind of like, you're supposed to be believing it is.
Right. And someone had made a point. It would have been nice to see the Justice, like when Flash was fighting against it for that one moment when Wonder Woman came and lassoed him.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see the other heroes like fighting against Brainiac. So you get those moments. This is just me thinking like how it could work. You get these moments of when they're like holding themselves back, and that's when you attack.
Yeah.
Because how are you literally going to kill these superheroes?
Oh,
like you have some powers, but not really.
But like once again, like I said, maybe this is not the Justice League. I mean, there's audio files in the game that they have taken out where Brainiac is saying that, "Oh, you killed my Justice League, and I still have your Justice League members."
Yeah,
you know, and so I guess I can see why we don't see them like really fighting it back, because I can imagine Superman can easily do his best. Batman I can understand, Flash I can understand, Green Lantern I can even understand.
Right.
But Superman alone, you should see those moments like you're saying, him fighting it back, you know?
Yeah.
So
See, my thought to that is like, if that were the case, I think they should have left us a little nugget of that at the end of this story to be like, you've killed the Justice League, but they're actually like not dead. Here they are. They're locked up somewhere. Just a little tease of like a hint that maybe that's there. I don't feel like I got it though without you telling me though.
Well, yeah, but they have. It's Rocksteady's way of doing it. They've done it before in their past games. They leave little nuggets here and there. Well, like all the calendar shit that's saying that he will return, talking about Batman.
Yeah.
And then also chopping off fucking Flash's thumb. And then it somehow magically regrows. And then we see enemies that are having these abilities of these other heroes. Makes like how is that possible? And then on top of that, how did Lex Luthor use Batman's DNA to make yellow kryptonite to weaken Superman? You know, that makes zero sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
How's that possible?
That went right over my head. I was like, oh, cool, we got
Lex
something.
Luthor is the main plan behind everything. Even at the very end, Brainiac saw Lex and it was just like, I don't think Brainiac's the main villain anymore. I think it might be Lex the whole time.
That's interesting.
I think there's a grander
What's his
story.
motive, you think?
I don't know. I think there's a grander story that we're slowly missing out on what's actually happening.
But see, that's kind of like my biggest concern with that is that we ended the main story of this game and none of that, like you saying that stuff, like I don't have any like hint towards, oh, I want to guess this, or I want to figure this out, or I want to figure that. I just at this point we've killed the Justice League and it's done.
Yeah,
and there's 12 more
dead.
Brainiacs to fight, which I think is a great. I honestly like looking at the live service part of it. Like they introduce late game that like there's this thing called the Nexus, and then there's these, what are they called, the Elseworlds, yeah. And it's like we've killed the Brainiac on what, Earth 2, Earth 1?
We're on Earth 1.
We're on Earth 1.
Yeah, and we killed
the Brainiac
2.
on Earth 2.
Yep,
which is where we originally met bearded Lex Luthor, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we killed a Brainiac, but there's 12 more Brainiacs, which kind of ties the story into it's a live service game now, and you have to kill 12 more Brainiacs over the course of whatever content drops you're going to do.
Yeah.
I thought that was super clever that it wasn't like Avengers where it's like, you beat a story, now here's a bunch of shit you do.
Yeah, little bits of
Which, I mean, I guess there is kind of a clone here if you think about it, but
you know, it's a reasonable
it's more intertwined with the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they gave an explanation on the clone situation, then it would have made more sense. But the invasion's happening at once in all these different Elseworld locations.
Yeah.
So, and all the Brainiacs are connected in a way. So, yeah.
I think what you're talking about is we need a Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest ending scene with this.
Oh, like an after credits scene?
I don't know if y'all remember that. Because like everyone's like, Jack Sparrow has been taken to the Beyond and he's stuck in that world and because the Kraken ate him. And everyone's sitting around like, what are we going to do? We don't have the Pearl. Jack's gone. And then you had Barbossa come down. and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" and like, "What? Who is this person coming down?" And then it's just like, "Oh man!" Like it just for me when I saw that, I was like, "What is going to happen in this next film?"
So
Maybe if they got a transmission from Batman, who was
Batman shows up, like
yeah,
all beat it up,
yeah,
and shit. It's just
like that'd been great.
I want
gold.
exactly that. We're like, like Spider-Man, like spoilers on Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god!
But the very end of Spider-Man, you have what is it?
The after credit scene.
Yeah, the after credit scene. It was you know,
Silk.
yeah,
Yeah.
But you don't know what's up.
right, exactly.
No one knows. I
Yeah,
know
but
it was
like-
Silk. I was like, who's this person?
There's a little bit of mysteriousness there that's like,
Right.
oh, cool. There's something more here that I don't understand. And this wasn't, they didn't have that in here, you know?
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have seen something like that. Because otherwise it was just like, Brainiac eliminated. Here's the open world.
Oh, eliminated question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it'd been nice to be like, oh, there's no like we did it, guys. We killed Brainiac, and then it's
Yeah.
like you get a transmission from Brainiac or something. I know because they're like, oh, there's a multiverse and there's 13 of them
Yeah.
because Lex knows everything.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing about the game is that what I enjoy the most out of it was the storyline, besides those little bits with the Justice League, you know. But what I really enjoy is the gameplay. Like, I am playing as Captain Boomerang, running around, doing everything, and like hordes of enemies coming at me. It's just, I'm having a blast with it, especially in the Elseworld missions that I've done so far.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's why I like it a lot, is because it's just fun to do that. But yeah, right now I haven't dove back. I haven't had an urge to dive back into it because I want more. Which I know you said in 2 weeks we'll get Joker, so we'll get the next season.
Two-ish, yeah.
Two-ish. So we'll get the next like update with the Elseworld situation. And my assumption is like each character that comes out, we're going to have to fight a Brainiac at the end of it. So in this next 4 seasons,
Yeah.
we'll have supposedly it's Joker. The second one's Nora Frost, which is Mr. Freeze's wife. The third one is Lloyd's daughter, Deadshot's daughter, from a different world where she's an assassin. And the fourth one's Deathstroke. So
It's gonna be sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm hoping with those like guys coming in that we'll go to the Elseworld of Metropolis and have different shit happening and different stuff.
Yeah.
So and switch it up a little bit.
Because what I've heard from people talking about Endgame, because I finally listened to reviews. I waited the whole time. I was like, I gotta beat this game because
Yeah.
everyone's shitting on it. But I heard that the Endgame isn't that fun because you go to the other world metropolises and you do like there's like a chain of missions. I guess just like when you beat Brainiac the first time.
Just like you beat Brainiac the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do those 2 missions and then you go and beat Brainiac. And they're
Nope.
like, you just do that over and over again.
No, you don't fight Brainiac.
You don't find Brainiac?
Nope.
So you just go to the other world?
You go into
and
the other world, do the missions and stuff, and you have to increase the difficulty each time so you can unlock the full weapons of Bane, because it's Bane's fucking area or whatever.
Okay.
So there's nothing, you can't explore the world or anything like
Right,
that. It's
right.
just like
But it is 3 missions you're doing over and over
Over
again.
and over.
Just
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
difficulty.
but
Yeah.
they'll switch up the missions every once in a while. You know, you're not doing the same shit over, because you have like 10 different side missions type things that you do.
Well, I hear everything in Earth 1 is randomized, but then when you go to another dimension, it's just the same missions over
I
again.
think it's random. I think it's just like Earth 1. It's just random missions, but you have that time limit like 14 minutes, and then you have the buffs and the debuffs that you go in depending on what difficulty you pick it at.
So after you do those 3 missions the first time, and then you're that Nexus map,
Yeah.
are you able to then go to the next globe and the next globe, or is that all locked still to that one?
I think it's all locked to that
'Cause
one. until the
I
new
think that's the
comes
season,
out.
right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I kind of figured. It's
So once the
Okay.
new season comes
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
they'll come out with more Nexus.
the finite crisis that we're doing
Yeah,
now,
the
which is
Finite
like I think
Crisis.
this season zero's story basically.
So they're
Yeah.
coming out with more content, and hopefully, what I'm kind of hoping for with this Joker content that's coming out, that will go to his Earth 33 or whatever the fuck it's going to be, and you go to it, and it's a whole different metropolis. You can explore and do whatever, and then you beat the Brainiac in that one, but you still can explore this world, and then jump back in Metropolis, do that, and just go back and forth. That's what I'm hoping for. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Well, they say it's a whole new environment, so I'm like curious if it's going to be like, okay, you're always in a metropolis, but then you have like smaller worlds that are like not the same design. Like I don't want them to like have like a reskin Metropolis 12 times.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be like, give me a new area to explore.
Well, supposedly you're supposed to go back to Arkham, so I'm assuming we'll go
Right.
to Gotham.
Yeah, so that would be
nice.
cool. And have those kind of builds set up and stuff like that. I think that would be really nice. And like I do think so far that they've done a better job than Avengers did at some of the Endgame stuff and everything to a point. It's starting to get a little repetitive, even though we haven't like fully done through the Endgame stuff yet. But I think there's enough, the leveling and the loot unlocks and the integration with the story and everything. I think they did a good job with all of that. And now that I've gone past, like last time I harped on the traversal like badly because it was really bad with Harley Quinn. Now I've switched to King Shark and like it's a way better experience to like navigate around through him. Yeah, I can like jump around real quick.
He said I'd hate it.
Then
I know. I thought I would.
The squad skill tree, and he's getting victories now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got 3 victories the other night. We were playing together.
Happy.
I was like, oh my god, it was amazing. So like that stuff has all made me like more appreciate this game. Like I think I was like a 7 before, a 6.5 or a 7. I probably could say I'm like an 8 right now at this game.
There you go.
Like overall, which is kind of crazy to say, but there is still some things like some balance stuff to fix, and then there's definitely like just I'm worried about that next season and the season after that. Like,
Same.
Will it be enough content to keep us engaged and moving through everything? But I like what's there now.
I hope so. I hope so. The new season will like help out a lot, especially with this game. I think they did a phenomenal job. Like everyone is comparing to Avengers, and I hands down believe this is way better than Avengers. This is what I wanted out of Avengers, and I got it, and I'm really enjoying it. So,
as it comes to gameplay, I think it was fine to get to have what's there to get through the story and complete the game, and it's fun. But the whole time I was like, as you progress, it's just like I wish there was more. Like I want more from the gameplay, because all you do is, and the loot, because the loot is pretty much all the same. I mean, you have this different manufacturers of weapons, and some are higher than others, and you go loot, craft them,
which is better than Avengers, because Avengers is just like it's just different numbers, which is nice. There's visual upgrades, which is nice here.
Yeah, but I feel like you get one gun, or you get that. I mean, there's not much after you unlock like certain thing, or you can find certain weapons, and then you can go and craft and unlock certain not skins, but like weapons of the manufacturer. And I just like, I got some good ones early on because I got the $80
same
deluxe, and then once I got towards the end, I really didn't change my weapons. Like I changed them a few times, and I felt like the drops for there was no like progression of progressively getting better with the weapons. Like better, I just like got good ones, and I'm like, all right, here I am. That's fine. I mean, it was fine for me because I can go and do a lot of damage and feel good about myself. But I felt like there was no progression in what they have there for the crafting system and for the actual loot drops. I was like, okay. I got to a point where it just didn't matter anymore. Yeah. And in other games, you have it where you're like always chasing the loot, always trying to get new stuff. Yeah. Always trying, like, Avengers, well, for different reasons, you would go and you would collect resources to upgrade certain things. And, some resources are harder than others. And here it's just like, well, I get resources all the time, and I really don't use them unless I'm crafting something. But I'm not crafting anything.
Not needing to craft. Really,
so I'm like, what is this eventually going to be used for? Maybe down the line it'll be better.
I think it's going to probably upgrading those guns that you get in Endgame. I think that's probably where a lot of that comes into play.
So what I do appreciate.
But for what reason?
Yeah, well,
just to shoot better,
stronger.
Do the same thing over and over again.
Same thing you do with every live service game.
I know.
Like
try and take over the world.
What I do like about this game is that you get to a point where you'll unlock weapons that have abilities to upgrade them as you use the weapon. I really love that.
Yeah, that was.
I don't have to worry about resources or anything like that. I just have to use the gun, and I can upgrade the gun. That's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And that's for like collecting all these resources is nice, especially if I get a new character that I don't play with as much, and they don't have a good weapon. I can like go craft something better. I don't like the crafting system because like a lot of those weapons are fucking shit. Like all
Yeah.
the time, especially on my main character. But
They're
if
not
I'm-
even random. Like
No,
there's
not
like
even random. And like
you craft, and it's like as good as your gun that you have now.
Yeah,
like it
it's-
won't go any
It's
higher.
honestly kind of the Borderlands effect, where it's really more we're swapping guns out all the time rather than upgrading guns all the time. You know,
that's the
like
thing.
Well,
I'm
you're
not
not even-
swapping.
I'm
out.
not swapping.
I just
I got
recently-
what I got.
after
Yeah.
I
It's as good as it
after I
gets.
beat
but
the
if you
game,
were, it's like it's just you swap it. But
after I
yeah.
beat the game and I did those 3 little like in-game quests that you
Yeah.
do to go to a different world for Bane stuff, I got one good shotgun out of it. I got some other little good shit, but it auto equips to my other characters, which is nice. So I don't have to focus in on those other characters. Got one good shotgun, fucking phenomenal. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm still using the same sniper rifle, which is fine because it's doing hella damage. So I kind of like that. So I'm not constantly swapping out guns like Borderlands because I'm
Right.
not doing that all the time. So
I mean, I think it's in a sense by by design where you're at the end of the game now, and it's like in most games when you get to the end of the game, it takes a long time to get a new weapon that you want that you like that will replace whatever you have. It's a major grind. You're going through a bunch of shit, collecting a bunch of resources, and eventually you'll get that one dropped. You're like, fuck yeah, that replaces
that's it.
You know,
I feel like there's no carrot on the stick here right now. I mean, besides the Bane stuff, which I guess the whole thing is like, what am I using it for? I don't feel the need to go back in until more content drops.
more content drops.
Yeah.
Like they're just like,
Like,
what's the
there's-
point
you
of
feel like there's
leveling
no
up?
content that's like hard enough to require you to upgrade.
And then what's the point of leveling up everyone else in my party? Like I just like Deadshot. Thank goodness you guys just like your characters. We're not having to jump around. If that was the case, then it'd be like, yeah, I might need to try to figure out how to level someone up. But I don't want to keep doing the thing where I just jump, fly around the city on the rooftops and kill random enemies. And yeah, there are extra side jobs or
Yeah.
side missions now, but which are the same. And like nothing's the missions haven't changed at all through the whole game. That's another issue I have. I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing new here. I've done it all.
yeah,
Would y'all agree? Disagree?
Agree to disagree. Like I feel like yes, some of the
So you
missions
disagree?
are the same.
Okay.
right, but some of them are the same, but they add different buffs and different shit to them.
Gotcha.
Especially the Elseworld missions. Like whenever I jumped in with Brett, we had a pretty difficult time going through it just because of the debuffs that they gave us. So I actually enjoy that fact. And I actually like the fact that they have so many little side missions in there so I can switch over to another character, especially for a lower side mission to start upgrading them, start figuring out their character a little bit more. So just in case I'm not a big fan of Captain Boomerang. I want to try out Harley Quinn. It gives me a chance to do these like tiny side missions without having to replay through the whole story to level her up.
yeah. I mean, that's my carrot on the stick right now is the upgrading of the characters
Yeah.
now. I mean, I like that
It's
once
very
you unlock
minute to do, but yeah.
once you unlock the mastery rank or the squad rank system or whatever. I like that. Unlike in like Avengers, where each one had its own like mastery. This one, it's like you upgrade those minute changes and it applies to all your characters. So like when we get the new character that comes out, they're already going to have a leg up
Yeah.
and not have to go back to literally, because that's what was so hard about Avengers. Like you have a level 0 character at the start of the game that you now have to spend forever to get them back
Doing
up
the
to where
same
they're
shit
fit in the
over
same
and over.
realm, you know? So I like
Which game did
that.
you say again?
Avengers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I like that we'll not have to worry about when Joker comes out and we play Joker, he'll already have some of these buffs from our squad rank that will give him more power. And then at that point, it's just leveling up his skill tree to give him new abilities and learn those abilities as time goes on. I think that's a cool feature that gives me something to work towards. But
I agree that Marvel's Avengers, there was a slog to get your character going. And then eventually, like, they came into their own.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can really just, like, then you're, like, having fun with it.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was that each of those characters were so different on what they did. And plus, you know, we liked a lot of the same characters.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we can kind of do like a rotation in a way, just depending on who's playing and whatever. And here, I just feel like everyone's basically the same, minus their like their super abilities. I mean, that's not the right term, but
even their
they
super
all
abilities, like mine's similar to his.
they all use guns. Some use some guns, and some don't use those guns for whatever reason. And it's just like, okay, they're all just too samey. There's just nothing. It's not like you're getting more resources or like new abilities or something. I mean, yeah, I guess the way that you approach things, like Deadshot, he can hover around and stuff, and you get up high real quick. And same with King Shark, like he can jump real high, and he has that cool cannonball attack that does AOE damage. And I don't know what you have a cool one too, where you can just kill a bunch of enemies at once.
Oh,
your ultimate.
yeah. One of my ultimates is AOE, which they're all similar.
Yeah.
It's just I run fast and hit and cut everyone up.
Okay, yeah.
And then my other one is just a close range attack, which is the same with you guys.
Yeah.
It's just a different cool little effect. And we all have the slowdown, which we all share.
That's why. Okay, I was confused about.
So
I was like, why do we all have a
we
slowdown?
all share the slowdown.
I didn't know that.
Yep, it's a squad ability. So
I just
whenever
find that
it's
kinda
full-
weird.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
would
was kind of
hope
expecting it
everyone's
to be different.
would have
but-
their own like super.
That's what I was hoping for. I
Yeah.
thought it was special for me because I had the speed for it because I was the
That
first
makes
one
sense
to get
for
it.
you, yeah.
Yeah, but no, they say it in the description. It's a squad ability.
Yeah. I
So
guess I didn't
whenever
understand.
if
Get that.
anyone uses it, it
Yeah.
goes away from all of us. So
Yeah.
I found that out when Brett and I were playing just recently. I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
Because he
'cause I
used
used
it, and I was just like, where did mine go? And I was just like, oh, it's fucking shared.
Yeah.
So,
That's weird.
yeah.
But I will say, I mean, like looking back on this game, like we've beat through the game. It's like I'm glad this game exists.
Yeah.
I really am.
100%.
Like I think it is. I mean, it is a bummer that they didn't go down the path of another Arkham. But honestly, like I don't know if I would have played it because I stopped playing Arkham. I didn't play Arkham Knight, and I was kind of ready for them to do something different. But
You didn't play Arkham Knight?
I just realized something.
no, I didn't. I want to though.
Amazing.
Y'all remember the opening of the game?
Yeah, it was in coming out of Arkham Asylum.
No. Before that.
Oh yeah. We were already in the other world. We
Yeah,
got
yeah,
separated.
We haven't experienced that yet.
What do you mean?
Through the
Oh, yeah.
storyline. We haven't experienced that at all yet.
We did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that's when we all come together. We start there.
Yeah,
we
in
learn
the first. That was the past. That was the future. We haven't all experienced yet in the storyline that we're playing in the present.
Were they trying to regroup again?
No, we did.
When?
I can't tell you exactly, but I was like, oh, this is the moment where we all like regrouped.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. It's 100%. It's not.
We'd have to
Because we
watch
were
it.
walking up to Brainiac's ship
Yeah, no,
and we are going to go inside of it.
we'd have to watch it because I clearly remember being like,
Okay.
oh, this is where.
No, we can watch it, but
Okay.
I 100%.
We'll have to find it. We'll have to
Oh,
find
doing
it.
a tutorial? Is there,
The tutorial
We're going to
mission.
Brainiac? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were heading to his ship.
Oh, okay. That's possible.
We'll find it. We'll watch
find
it.
it.
One of us will be right. The other will be wrong.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, what would you give it again? We'll go on number scale.
Probably an 8. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I gave it. I think last time it was 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I probably give it 5 or 6 for the reason that, again, I really enjoyed the story. It kept me going through the whole thing. The fact is, I don't think this is going to be. I feel like this is going to go away of Marvel's Avengers, where eventually it'll be shut down. So I don't think unlike Destiny, Destiny has problems too, but I mean, it had like a clear like this is what it's going to be like, and for the most part, people enjoyed what they had leading up to them adding additional content. I understand. Maybe my view will change as they add more additional content, but right now it's just like,
well, you got to play it more
I don't
because
know.
whenever they add that new content, you're so low level, and you'll be like, fuck this game.
oh no, I'm gonna play the new content.
You're like playing Remnant with us.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can't play anymore.
Like even
Sorry.
Marvel's Avengers gave us reason to play more.
Yeah.
I tore that game apart too. Go listen to our
you
reviews.
did.
Yeah. For some reason,
love
I
that
spent money
game.
on it too. I don't know why.
Yeah, you spent more than all of us.
I did.
Yeah.
Look, the gameplay was fun in that. And here,
It was.
I still feel like the gameplay is lacking and the diversity between the characters
I didn't
definitely
think
could be a lot
gameplay
better.
was that fun in Avengers. I felt like it was just a shadow of another character all the time every time I played it.
Really?
Well, you're a shadow of another character.
What character?
Your mom.
Well, I mean, she gave birth to me.
I was like, that's accurate.
Exactly. I'm not making a joke. I'm just telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Truth bomb up in this bitch. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we're here again where it's a live service and we have to wait for, a
2
year or two. Well, like to fully see if it is successful.
like
you
everything.
usually have to wait like a year or two to see where the content goes, and
Yeah.
if it doesn't crash like Marvel's Avengers, where they shut that
they
shit
just
down.
need to constantly pump out new content. That's what they need to do with this
That's
game.
hard, man.
It
is
sucks,
hard.
but they need to do it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep playing it.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
playing by myself because like
I'll play.
oh, let's play Helldivers.
I got hell.
Well, we gotta play that too.
I
you
got
know?
hell to go into.
Yeah. All right. That's our full look at the story, spoilers of Suicide Squad, a look in the end game, our different opinions, our final review score is here. It's ready. And then now just get ready because we're going to be talking about the new season when it drops.